everything is only for the moment. It's only for the moment. Yo, feel like I'm losing my way. Feel like I'm losing the day. Feel like my people ain't really my people, man. I feel like moving away.
Teen Gohan has never by any means been underrated. But you could argue that despite constantly being at the top of tier lists, he has always been underrepresented. While many despise him for his air tracking auto combo, this character is more than just brain dead square mashing. His battery potential is staggering, his combos can be plenty saucy, and he's one of the limited characters with access to a DP assist. Still, outside of a handful of players, he isn't a very common pick among pros. If you notice that today's background song is different than usual, you'd be right. That's because today, I'm kicking back with the FGC's favorite rapper and Tohan main, Kali Mac, to talk through his approach to the original Super Saiyan 2. What is up, y'all? KRCPinto here. Today, I'm hanging out with Kali Mac, everyone's favorite FGC rapper and Teen Gohan main. Kali, how you doing, man?
Yo, what's going on, man? I'm feeling great right now. Glad to be here. Looking forward to showing y'all some Teen Gohan action. Know what I'm saying?
Yes, dude. We got to get the bombos going, show off the battery potential. There's a lot to this character. I'm just going to dive into it.
Character's really good. I like to downplay a lot. You know what I mean? Bandai, you can still nerf him you can still buff him if you want. You know what I mean? You can still buff him a little bit. But he's a really strong character, and I'm looking forward to showcasing a lot of his skills today.
Yes, dude. Gonna be a great time. All right, you ready to jump right into it?
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, let's do it. First question for you. It's kind of a low ball. What is your favorite Teen Gohan move and why? It can be a normal, special, whatever you like best.
My favorite Teen Gohan move, this one right here. 100%, without a doubt, undoubtedly, the best move on his arsenal. You feel me? Teen Gohan's light is so great. And it wasn't always like this because he recently received these buffs to his light, you know, letting him hit people way up in the sky like a missile. He recently received these in season 2. And I mean, I've been playing them since day 1, and he didn't have this in season 1. But season 2, beautiful move, and I take every opportunity I can to use it 100%.
I respect that you're leaning straight into the caveman approach, the thing he is most despised for as your favorite.
You know, it's crazy. Like I used to despise people like that. You know, like, oh, this guy's just gonna light and just press square and press his forehead on the square button and do all these things, and I used to despise it. I used to hate it, and then I realized that I was holding myself. It's a decent anti-air. It's not consistent, I mean, but it's very decent as an anti-air. And it's really good in those scramble situations where the opponent's just jumping around you, you know what I mean? You don't know what they're about to do, you know what I mean? Like it tracks, it goes really high, and it helps in a lot of situations, you know what I mean? So it's a very good tool despite all the memes and jokes. So yeah, that's my favorite move for sure.
All right, let's talk his assists. So this character, I feel like we don't see a whole lot assist-wise besides his DP in actual use. What's your favorite assist of his? And do you think how do you think they all rank in terms of value?
Well, DP assist for sure. I believe he has maybe the second best, third best DP assist in the game. You know what I mean? The angle that it takes can be used very defensively. Decent for combos, usually the best for combos, but it can be used. You know, it can be worked into most characters. You know what I mean? Plus the defensive, you know, with the involved frames. I mean, you can use it in a variety of different ways, which is why I feel like his DP assist is probably his best assist. You know what I mean? His B assist, it's not it, but people will argue me down on it. You know what I mean? It actually used to be a little bit better. You know what I mean? Because at the angle it came and because it spawned behind, it could be used a little bit more defensively, but now it tracks. And the offensive potential of a single key blast assist, it's not like a Vegito key blast that covers the entire screen, or like a Vegeta key blast that locks down, you know what I mean? It's a single key blast. It doesn't have too much potential. You know, at most it's good for combos. You know what I mean? But probably his worst assist out of the three.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that was their intent with B, is to give you like the bomb links and like
yeah.
really
Yeah, you know, it's cool for combos. And I mean, you can get some nice combos and stuff off it, but other than that, you're not going to get too much use out of it. So I wouldn't recommend it, but I have been told, you know, I mean, I don't use it, but I have been told that certain characters benefit from B assist more than most. So, you know, I mean, if you have one of those characters, it's certainly worth experimenting. You know, other than that, I wouldn't recommend it. And then he has a C assist, which I actually believe is one of the better C assists. Despite the drawbacks, I'm not the biggest fan of C assist because of the cooldown. Lacking an assist in neutral can definitely hinder you when you need it. But if you have to use a C assist and you have to use Teen Gohan, I definitely don't think it's a bad choice. You know what I mean? It's definitely on the better end.
This is air track?
Yes. Air tracks. I believe it's 35 frames block stun. Yeah. Yep, 35 frame block stun, so it's a pretty nice block stun assist. Not enough to be considered a lockdown, I don't think, but it's a pretty decent amount. Air tracks has nice, you know, has C assist hit stun, so it's really easy to combo off of. So it definitely has its uses, you know what I mean? So I would rank it second. I would definitely still say DP assist is his best assist. I would say C assist is definitely better than B assist, though. I think B assist is on the lowest end of the spectrum, in my opinion. I mean, that's how I feel about his assists.
Okay, so DP definitely the way to go in general for this character.
Yeah. I feel like his DP assist is good, and if you know how to utilize it properly, especially with this thing right here, let me show you this bad boy right here. This bad boy right here is the number one reason why DP assist is practically always the best choice. This right here. Dash assist is one of the best mix-up tools in this game, and with DP assist, it is utilized flawlessly with practically any single character. Know what I mean? So
yeah, you gotta hold that.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I definitely would recommend his AA assist over his other two, for sure.
All right, let's talk team position a little bit. I feel like he's commonly run point, but you generally run him mid, right?
Yes, and I'll be honest, I think it's more of a personal choice for me. Like, Teen Gohan is probably better at point because he's such a battery. He builds so much meter. It's ridiculous how much meter he builds. They nerfed his meter build, and he still builds a ridiculous amount of meter. That's how good it is, you know what I mean? So having that at point and then being able to DHC into whoever you need and to being able to let them have meter after they DHC is always a plus. You know what I mean? His neutral is a little bit lacking, you know what I mean? Like, he has some decent tools, but having assists behind them definitely helps. So, you know, being able to play in point with both assists definitely helps in the neutral aspect, and then allows him to get his mix because he has some really good mix with assists. So I definitely do believe he's better point. The team that I'm running also is a reason why I run him mid, because I run Kid Buu point, and there's not too many points that I would run over Teen Gohan, but Kid Buu is absolutely one of them. Kid Buu point is ridiculous, especially with the DP assist because of super dash assist, like I said before. Kid Buu point runs really well on this team, which is why I run Teen Gohan mid. But other than that, yeah, I think point is usually the best. I don't think Anchor is the worst option in the world, but there's definitely better options. I don't say Anchor is the worst because he has access to his own plus frames, which can be used solo to, you know, get in the opponent's mind. You can run mixed games with that. But it's not the worst option, Anchor, but there's definitely better options. I mean, I wouldn't recommend him Anchor. Definitely point or mid if you have to.
In terms of battery potential, what's he building off of BNB? Like 2 bars?
2 bars, maybe 3 bars, depending on, you know, how you do it. I'm on block right now. Let's see if I can get a little basic BNB going for y'all real quick.
Show me the bombos.
So we started with 1 bar, right? Oh wait, no. See, I use B assist because I actually don't like A assist for Kid Buu, for Teen Gohan, because of the combo stuff that I can't get with A assist. Like, stuff like this I can't do with A assist. We started with 1 bar and 2.5 bars off that. I can use an assist. I can use a super there, take 5k, and still have a bar and a half. Be a bar and a half plus. You know what I mean? So he builds a ridiculous amount of meter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really good, really good.
And that, opens up to 2-touch potential pretty easily.
Yeah, I think he has some of the easiest 2-touches because he can 2-touch off of a majority of starters easily. A lot of characters, they can 2-touch, but you have to do these specific routes for them. And then, you know what I mean? You got to get a little more optimal. You got to get a little better with the execution. You know what I mean? But with Teen Gohan, his routes are flexible. Once you learn them, because I do agree that it's hard to pick him up at first because his routes are unconventional. But once you learn the different routes and stuff, and you learn the different starters, he can 2-touch off of practically anything. And I think that's what lets him have the best 2-touch.
So, you mentioned that Teen Gohan's neutral, a little bit mid compared to some other characters, but you still got to play him in neutral. So what's your approach to neutral with him? What's something that you do to give yourself an edge? Do you have any tips for Teen Gohan players in neutral? How do you go about it?
Yeah, no problem. So his two best neutral options are this Ki Blast and this bad boy right here. Ki Blast, he has 4 Ki Blasts. Spammable, really good in neutral. Can be canceled into 2H if you see the opponent super dashing, if you hit them. If your Ki Blast whiff, you can't cancel into 2H. But if they hit or they block or they super dash into them, you can cancel into 2H, which is good. You can also cancel into your anti-air, which helps in those certain situations. So it's a really good neutral tool, to keep your opponent at bay, play the neutral proper. The other tool, 236 LMH, really good tool to close the gap. Can be combo with certain assists. On block, you can cancel. You can call your assist on block and then continue your string afterwards, to extend your pressure. So it's really good. And the Ki Blast can also be connected into the lariat at certain ranges. Not at all ranges, but if you get your spacing proper, this is one of my favorite sequences in the game to use with Teen Gohan. Catches up back, catches them trying to press any buttons, because a lot of people see it and try to super dash, they'll try to jump back, they'll see the Ki Blast, and they'll try to do something when they see the Ki Blasts are done. You combo into the lariat, and then they're stuck. If they block it, you bring your assist behind you, and then you're right into pressure, you know what I mean? So that's one of my favorite sequences into the game, you know what I mean? Get your pressure on, start with some Ki Blasts, try and inch in, get some Ki Blasts, and now you're in, baby. So that's one of my favorite neutral sequences with Teen Gohan. Another thing is his bombs. They're really not good for applying pressure on the opponent, I would say, or in the same way that you can use the Ki Blast. But I think they're better used as bait because it has a decent amount of recovery. People will see them and try and super dash or try and do something. But the one thing about them is if you hit your opponent with the bomb, if you hit the opponent or the assist, if the bomb makes contact with something, you can cancel into EX legs, you know what I mean? So that's a really good plus. Now, you see them try to super dash you after a bomb, EX legs. It's one of my favorite sequences to do if I'm doing bombs in neutral.
Yeah,
oh God,
anyone who's played a Gohan knows that those legs will stuff pretty much anything in the air.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not, legs in the air aren't the best tool necessarily, especially compared to Adult Gohan, who has a lot less recovery. So he can just freely, do it way more than Adult Gohan, than Teen Gohan can, Mm-hmm. But can still definitely be used, especially with bomb. You know what I mean? See someone super dashing, catch them with legs, go into a full conversion like that. So that's another thing I use sparingly. But again, I think 5S and his lariat definitely his two best tools to approach a neutral, and definitely going to be your best way to get in.
Teen Gohan, when he gets in, he's got good tools to pressure. I know he's got some decent mix-up options with an assist. What's your approach to this? How are you tripping people up and opening them up when you've got them in block and you've won your neutral?
So the main way to mix with Teen Gohan for most Teen Gohan players is going to be legs in the air. This bad boy right here. So you had an assist behind this, you get a 50-50, 100%. This is without a doubt a 50-50. The high, if you time it properly, the high will land on the same frame as the low. The opponent has to guess. You can set this up with medium legs. I mean, with EX legs, you can set this up with medium legs. EX legs and medium legs are going to be the main way that you set this up. You know what I mean? Depending on the assist, you see Tien has a little bit of pushback, so you got to time it proper. But depending on the assist, you'll be able to get the high and the low option. You know what I mean? So you're going to want to play around with what assist you're using to see if you can get that high-low option, because to be honest, if you can't the standing low, like I just got, I don't know if you can see it there, but if you can't get the standing low there after the mix-up, then Teen Gohan I wouldn't even recommend Teen Gohan with the assist, because that's the majority of his mix-up right there. You know what I mean? Now, this mix-up can be guard cancel, which is one of the main drawbacks of this mix. A lot of people playing Teen Gohan don't know that, so that's a little tip for countering Teen Gohan. This mix can be guard canceled. However, the timings between EX and medium are different. So you can mix it up. For EX, you kind of have to delay your guard cancel. Let me see if I can set it up real quick. Shout outs to Bandai for giving us guard cancel options, giving us more options in training mode. You guys are the real MVPs. See, so you can guard cancel that. Yeah. So you can guard cancel that, and I'm smoked, right?
Right.
That same timing doesn't even work on medium, you know what I mean?
That's interesting. I did not know that. Why is
right, so,
they're different?
So the timing actually differs because the legs pop out at a different time. The legs, they pop out. There's a little gap between the medium and EX. EX is a true string with most strings. Going into EX is a true string into most with most block strings. Going into medium, there's a gap, so it messes up the timing. I don't know if you can see it. There's a small gap before the legs hit right there, and that messes up most timings. But it also makes it punishable. You know what I mean? So this is the mind game that a lot of Teen Gohans play or should play, and it's the mix between EX and medium legs. The opponent has to stay aware. They have to be aware of which one you're using, and they have to time their guard cancel properly for each one. You know what I mean?
That opens up some interesting options too, where like, you know, if you're using medium a lot and like conditioning them to try and reflect there, the EX is gonna slap them if they like try to push something.
Right, exactly. So my layer one start guard canceling, then I'll throw in the mediums and see what they do. If they start guard canceling that, then I'll alternate between, or maybe, you know what I mean? I also like to throw in one of these, because if I see their guard canceling just because they see the legs, I'll just throw one of these in. This, it's really hard to guard cancel properly. Oh, you did it properly there. But if you
so that's not fair.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's a very specific timing to guard cancel the light legs, and if you throw it in conjunction with the medium legs and the EX legs on occasion, you can definitely mess up your opponent's timings, get them to block, and then get a full punish. You know what I mean? So that's going to be your main mix-up tool between the 50-50 and then guessing your opponent's guard canceling tactics and playing around those. That's going to be your main mix-up options. The other thing is you can use his still got guard cancel on. You can use his lariat in conjunction with a little high-low, depending on the assist or a cross-up. If the assist has enough pushback, I believe Kid Buu does, yeah, you get a high-low. Or if it doesn't have enough pushback, you get a cross-up. But these are all reactable, and the cross-up, depending on how much blocks then you have, can be punished. So it's not the best, but you know, if you just want to switch it up, do something different, you know, it's always an option. Yeah, the main thing you're gonna want to go for mix-up and pressure is definitely gonna be these bad boys right here, your legs.
You said earlier, I think, that he has options to make his own plus frames. Is that something that you do in your pressure a lot?
Yeah, so that's these bad boys right here. This EX legs +1, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough to be able to do a JL afterwards or a jumping light and be safe. So if I set the computer to 2H right here, I'm safe. And the JL came out, but because I have that plus frame, I'm still able to be safe, right? So that allows for pressure. You know what I mean? Because if I know they're going to 2H, I can come back and do bomb or do something to bait the 2H. Now they're not 2Hing. If they're not 2Hing, they're scared. I can continue my pressure, you know what I mean? And I'm right back in.
Does he have any particularly strong stagger buttons?
His staggers are decent, you know what I mean? His 5M being -3 on block is probably his best. One of his best options, you know what I mean? A lot of medium buttons tend to have block, but it being only -3 on block is pretty good. So I believe his pressure is more on frame traps than staggering. You know what I mean? So if you stagger your buttons, especially like the 5M into 2M, if you stagger it enough, you'll definitely catch a lot of buttons lacking. Another frame trap is into Key Blast into Lariat. You'll catch a lot of people trying to super dash, trying to push buttons that way. You know what I mean? You do 2 or 3 Key Blasts in the middle of your string into Lariat. It's a very decent Key Blast, especially if you lay it a little bit. You'll catch a lot of people pressing buttons, and then you can also, as always, you know, bring your assist right behind there, and then you're right in for your pressure. You know what I mean? So you want to focus more on frame traps than staggers. If you have to stagger, I actually have been having a lot of success staggering 5L. Yeah. So if you stagger with 5L on characters with a 6 frame, they can block out of it. They can press out of it. But if you're staggering with them, but this is where the mind game comes in, you know what I mean? You can stagger with that, and then frame trap into your other buttons. You know what I mean? Catch them lacking.
Was that medium starter there too?
Yeah, that was medium starter. Yeah, 100%.
Love that.
So that's why going into medium for the frame traps really work really well. You know what I mean? And then when they're blocking, they're set to respect 5L. You can go for a lot of funky stuff with this. You know what I mean? You can actually set up a +6M like this. I believe it's 5Ls. I was testing it a few days ago. But there's a lot of funky stuff you can do, you know what I mean? If you get your frame traps proper, you know what I mean? You can set up a lot of stuff. So the main thing that I would say to do is frame trap. If you're going for pressure, you don't have assist, you don't know what to do, try and set up frame traps and know when to give up your turn, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people will just try and continue the pressure, especially with plus frames. You get plus frames, you want to just keep going crazy, you know what I mean? But you got to know when to give up your turn and when to continue your turn, you know what I mean? You master that and you'll be able to keep up your pressure always with Teen Gohan.
Let's talk about some Oki. So if Teen Gohan, your pressure's successful, which it probably will be because he's Teen Gohan, you get a good knockdown. How are you following up? We talked earlier about how he's a 2-touch character, so being able to set that up is crucial. What are you doing on knockdown to keep things going? How's his Oki?
So I normally go for 2 main setups. Basic safe jump setup. 5L jump, boom. Catches up tech, catches down tech. You're safe if they 2H. Oh wait, it's a set up tech. There we go. Yeah, so that setup catches most techs. Only thing it doesn't catch is delay tech. So you want to be careful with that. But what you can do to counter that is backdash OS. So what you want to do is input your JH after you're falling. So if they 2H or they do anything, you'll backdash. Well, I didn't set it up there. But you'll backdash if you're in a position where you would block instead. Well, it's the safe jump, so it's actually catching the 2H. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm trying to mess it up. But yeah, so if you're in a position where it would block, you'll backdash instead, and you can catch buttons lacking with a punish. Know what I mean? And if it happens where the JH connects, like so, then the backdash won't come out. Another setup that I've been using a lot recently when I've used all my assists, shout out to Disband, by the way, he put me onto this tech, is you do 2Ls and then you IAD forward. Oh, well, the assist region isn't on. The assist cooldown is on purple cut. So a lot of times with the safe jump, if you don't have any assist, you won't get your assist back because of the assist cooldown nerf that happened in season 3. You know, to counter snap and a lot of the pressure, the Arxis nerfed the cooldown on the assist. So normally, if I were to do the regular safe jump setup, after I've used both my assists, the cooldown would have it so that my assists wouldn't come back unless I stop moving, as you can see, you know what I mean? Which sucks in pressure, you know what I mean? It's hard to pressure without your assists. But if with this new setup, shout out to Disband for showing me this. He has a whole YouTube video on it. You can get your assist back. Like so, you see, I got my assist back with that. My assists are coming back now, you know what I mean? So now I can continue my pressure. I can get a 6M in there maybe. And now my assists are back and I can go straight into pressure from there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
assist regen definitely crucial with this character because like we showed before, you know, he gets so much out of having an assist available.
Exactly, and that's a safe jump too. So if the wake up buttons try to do anything, you'll be safe and you'll be good to continue your pressure. So those are my main 2 setups on Oki. The Teen Gohan Discord has a whole bunch of crazy setups and Oki and cool stuff to do, you know what I mean? And you can definitely delve in and find a whole bunch of cool stuff to do. Now I mean, I like to keep it simple for the most part. I mean, but you're definitely free to go wild, and I definitely recommend anybody watching this video that wants to improve their Teen Gohan to find a link to the Teen Gohan Discord and join as soon as possible. They are one of the best character Discords on the planet. Whole bunch of helpful people. I've been in there since day 1, and they've helped me a whole mess of a ton. Most of my tech is from there, you know what I mean? So I would definitely recommend, going in there, and if you have any questions, comments, concerns, to go in, what you can find, you know what I mean? As far as Oki, I also like to, there's also a lot of soft knockdown stuff that I like to go for. If I'm doing a regular combo, he has some soft knockdown setups that's set up right like that, and that are safe if the opponent presses a button or 2 H's. These are good, you know what I mean, if you just want to refetch your pressure, you think you're going to catch your opponent lacking real quick. You can set these up off of this combo as well. If I can hit the combo. There we go. So at a certain height, depending on the records that you do, you can make that a safe jump. There we go.
What do you mean
so,
on the records that you do? Could you explain
so,
that?
So his lariat that I touched on a little bit earlier, the lariat is a 5-hitting combo. I guess a lot of people that don't play Teen Gohan wouldn't know that you have to press buttons after every hit in order to continue the record. As you can see in my commands, I'm pressing medium, light, medium, light, medium to continue the record right here, you know what I mean? Now, if you're just playing the game, you know what I mean, you can just mash medium, whatever, to get your combos, you know what I mean? But once you get a little bit higher up, there's certain orders of records that you're going to want to do depending on what you want to accomplish. For example, if I just want to get a wall bounce, I'm just going to press medium, right? Now on the second record, right? So I'm going into record again. I'm going to do medium, light, medium, light, medium. Oh wait, is that it? That's not. Yeah, that's it. There it is. I doubted myself for a second. But yeah, that depending on what you want to accomplish with the character, is depending on what records you're going to want to do. You can also utilize certain combo routes with records. Right there, I started with 236L instead of 236M. You know what I mean? And I can get little funky combos like this. Yeah, there we go.
I had no idea that pushing different buttons in that sequence did different things. I always thought it was you just like push the button to get the link. I did not know that they were different links.
Yep, his lariat is 100% a record to confirm.
What about off level 3? Does he have any really strong setups there?
Level 3, he has some really good stuff, definitely. So normally you have a regular safe jump. All you do is hold up afterwards. Oh, I don't have enough meter. All you do is hold up after level 3 and press JH. Free safe jump. They can't press anything. They can't do anything but block. If they 2H. If you time it proper, you can counter hit. If not, you're safe regardless, so you'll be fine. A lot of characters have access to this. Teen Gohan does as well. If you super jump IED, hold it, you can get a high-low mix right there. The high option is safe. You know what I mean? So if I'm doing it, I like to open up the waters with the high option. If I can get it here. Yeah, so I like to do the high option a lot to open up. And then if they're respecting it, then I might try it and go for the low option instead. You know what I mean? But you're gonna want to super jump there. That's how you get the true mix, because you float on the high and then you fall on the low.
So it's a super jump installed IAD.
Yeah, so you're gonna want to super jump install IAD. If you're going high, you float, and then if you're going low, you're just gonna want to fall straight down.
Is the timing tight on the button press for the high?
A little bit. It's definitely gonna take some practice. You're definitely gonna have to go in the lab and practice this. The hardest part is most likely gonna be actually floating, doing the actual super jump IAD after the level 3. It took me a little time, and I had to start using the dash macro. I literally only use it for this mix because it's hard to get it, but with the dash macro, it makes it a little easier. But once you can get the timing proper, you know what I mean, it's definitely going to be a very viable asset in your level 3 Oki arsenal for sure.
Are these Oki options consistent through his level 5 as well? I know you probably wouldn't go
Yes.
to the level 5 unless it was going to kill, but just to be...
Yes, now they actually used to not be consistent, but they changed level 5 Oki across the board. Because level 5 Oki actually used to be worse. I don't remember what season they changed it. Season 3, I don't remember. But regardless, they changed it so that level 5 knockdown is the same Oki as level 3 knockdown. So now you can actually get that same exact mix off of level 5 Oki.
And now we get to watch his awesome level 5. It's no,
so
Gogeta,
cool.
but it's the OG, you know?
Oop, messed it up. Well, yeah, this character's so cool. I love the animations, the everything. It's so dope, man.
I love that they had him do like the limp arm afterward.
You see him with he has his arm straight down afterwards and everything. It's mad cool, yo. Yeah, so you can definitely still get it after the level 5. You just gotta get the timing proper because of that animation. You know what I mean? It's a little weird at a time, but if you can get it right, you know, there's not so many situations where you'll go for Oki after level 5, but you know, if you do happen to run into it, you'll be prepared.
Let's go to Teen Gohan on defense. So clearly this character is decent on defense because he is a DP character.
Absolutely. I love me some DP. I can't lie. And then go.
When you're in defense, what's your approach? Are you kind of like fishing for DP opportunities? Are you keeping it like mind games, saving it for later? How do you deal with stuff with Teen Gohan?
I think that you want to save your DP a little bit, at least at first. For every opponent, I like to save my DP until I'm a little familiar with where my opponent is doing things in their strings. You know what I mean? You want to see where there are gaps. You know what I mean? Where they may be backing off at times, where they're overextending their pressure. You know what I mean? So I like to save my DP until I can get a feel for my opponent's strings. You know what I mean? And then, you know, sometimes you just got to bust out. You know what I mean? Some DPs will be calculated. Some DPs, you know what I mean? You just get off me, you know, but at the end of the day, the DP is there as a defensive option. So it's up to you as the player to find those situations it can be used effectively. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would definitely between medium DP and EX DP, EX DP actually has less recovery. So it's definitely still punishable, but you might get away with 1 or 2 more if you go with EX, but you want to be cautious of your meter because it does take half a bar. You know what I mean? So if you want to bust out, you want to be aware of maybe using EX once or twice more than you would use the medium. Another thing is light DP. Light DP, you'll mostly see it in like TODs and things like that from Teen Gohan players, but it's actually a frame 1 anti-air option, which is really strong because there's a lot of situations where you wouldn't be able to get a 2H out where you'll be able to get an anti-air out. Certain key blasts will leave a gap that's still too small to 2H, but in those instances you can hit your frame 1 anti-air if I can get it. There we go. In those instances, your frame 1 anti-air is going to be your best friend. So if you can utilize that properly, you can definitely go crazy. I was gonna get it right there. But yeah, light DP is definitely very useful, being a frame 1 anti-air. That situation is probably going to be the most common use for it, and it should be utilized by a lot more Teen Gohan players. If you're watching this, please go to the lab, work it out, get that in your reactions, and start smoking these people for bad vanishes. But yeah, that DP is definitely good as an anti-air, and it's definitely can be used in that retrospect. But yeah, as far as DPs, that's definitely how I use them for the most part.
Does he have any other tools that function well when he's on defense besides the DP? Obviously, that's his number one because it's the DP. But any like good challenge buttons? Any
Oh yeah, this bad boy right here.
The auto
this bad boy. Oh, you want to anti-reflect this bad boy right here? Yeah. For the most part, if I'm challenging, I'm pressing square. Honestly, because it covers so much space that if they're trying to stagger or they're trying to jump back or dash or backdash afterwards, this thing is chasing them down, and then I'm right into pressure with it. You know what I mean? So that's definitely my number one challenge button. He doesn't really have too much because he does have stubby normals for the most part. So you're gonna want to be careful challenging at all with anything else. And if you're pressing light, you're gonna want to just go full Rambo, you know what I mean? Because his light is so stubby, if you can definitely get spaced out, you know what I mean, and be at certain spaces where it's just gonna whiff. You know what I mean? But if you follow up with the light and the second one connects, you can get a counter hit. You might end up putting them black and block stun, you know what I mean? Right. So I'm not advocating mashing like a madman. You want to pick and choose your battles, you know what I mean? But it's definitely a useful tool when used effectively. So
you gotta clarify that for Teen Gohan auto combo.
Yeah, because I know people are watching this. Like, I can just press square and not be castrized. Say less. Nah, you're definitely still a nut if you're out here just running up light all the time. You know what I mean? But when utilized effectively, it's a really good tool for sure.
The net play classic.
The net play classic.
I got a question for you that's more of an opinion based thing. So, This character is always at the top of tier lists. Every single time. He's always like in the S tier or at least like A+, depending on who's making the tier list, right?
Yeah.
Wildly underrepresented in like pro play. Why do you think that is? Like, I can't think of very many Teen Gohan mains. Like, To Kill Sage obviously runs him. Nice DOD. To Kill Sage runs him, like Apology Man has played with him some, but like, you don't see the representation that you do of some of the other more dominant top tiers. What do you think keeps him like at the top of tier lists, but out of the spotlight like that?
Power creep. It's really just about it. Like, other characters, there's just better options, you know what I mean? If there weren't better options, Teen Gohan would still be regarded as he was in season 2, and I mean one of the best choices. I mean, he was top 3 arguably in season 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of characters have just gotten huge buffs over the past season and a half, in pair with the assist changes. Now, I mean, everybody has multiple assists, so more characters are now viable to be used. Now, I mean, it's just one just gets overshadowed a lot. That's the main reason why he isn't getting chosen as much. But he's definitely still, he hasn't gotten nerfed or anything. You know, he's definitely still a really strong option. When there's UIs and the Z Broly's and the Kid Boos and all these other hoopla out here, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, he just gets overshadowed. Now, I mean, but definitely still a strong option. And you can definitely catch a lot of people lacking with a good Teen Gohan for sure.
Well, and you know, this leads perfectly into the closing question, which is, Callie Mac, if someone was on the fence about playing Teen Gohan, they came to you and they said, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not sure. What are you saying to push them over the fence? Why should someone play this character?
Great meter build. Really good pressure. I think some of the best pressure in the game, honestly. Really high damage. Really high damage. And he has a neutral tool, combo extender, frame trap, anti-reflect all in one. And that's this bad boy right here. I'm gonna show this 5LL because it's so good.
Gotta sell it.
I don't see, like, no other character has that off of pressing square 3 times. You know what I mean? It's an all-in-one tool, and all you have to do is press square 3 times, and it works. You know what I mean? Definitely, but it's definitely a really fun character, and if you can put the time into learning him, I definitely think it's worth the while for sure. There we go.
He's dead. Get that little monster out of here.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, 3.7
Oh, I didn't understand what you meant. I thought you were gonna do the extra hits of Tri-Beam.
Nah, because then you lose TN health. You know, you don't want to have TN out here bleeding.
All right, Callie, man. Thanks for stopping by today. Sweet stuff with Teen Gohan, a character that deserves more love because obviously he is sick. Hopefully we'll see.
I wish I downplayed more. I need more buffs. I'm not gonna lie.
You gotta get on those Gotenks vibes, man. Gotenks.
Yeah, man.
Keep buffing them.
That's what I need for real.
All right, man. Where can people find you? You've got other projects going on, so you definitely got a plug here.
Oh yeah. So my bad. You can follow the Twitter at Callie_Mac. Follow the Twitch, same time. Those are my 2 biggest forms of media. I mean, Twitter and Twitch, both at Callie_Mac. I make a lot of music too. I mean, I do music. I mean, I like the video game stuff, but my music is my real passion. You know what I mean? So if you guys could check out the tunes, support it, it'd be greatly appreciated. That's all Callie Mac as well. KALI_MAC. I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, wherever you listen to music. Look me up, and I'm there, baby.
Mac and 2 Deluxe, fresh drop.
Mac and 2 Deluxe out now everywhere. Music videos coming soon. I got a lot of fun stuff in the works with the stream and with the music. I got a lot of content coming up this year, and I'm looking forward to sharing it with everybody.
Hey y'all, if you like the song today, it was called Nintendo, and it's off Callie's new album, Mac and 2 Deluxe. Be sure to check it out on Apple Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your music. It is full of bangers that are great to lap to. See y'all next week for more Secret Sauce.